Hello folks. So welcome to another session of 25 question. So let's start from today's question. So the first question is from previous session. So question was, what is XAAS SaaS is in cloud computing? So SaaS stand for anything as a service. So A will be the right answer here. So anything can be anything. It can be email as a service or server as a service. So let's start quickly from today's question. So the first is, which of the following is the process of aggregating two or more networks for which it generates single IP address? The answer for this question is supernetting. What is supernetting? It is just reverse of subnetting. What is subnetting? In subnetting, we divide an IP address into smaller chunk, and in supernetting, we combine smaller IP address and give this at one IP address so that it will be a large network. Next is, which SQL operator allows you to specify multiple values in a where class? So in where class, whenever we have to apply multiple value, the operator we use is in. How we use? How we write the query? Like select column names from table names where column name is equal to some value. Let's say is equal to 1. So whenever we want to check, we just give where column name is equal to 1. But when we need to check whether the column name is equal to 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, at that time we specify in, where column name in bracket 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I hope it is clear. So next question is, Ethernet uses how many bit/byte physical addresses that is imprinted on the network interface card? So it is talking about MAC address. So whatever the address is printed on an IC card is known as MAC address. So MAC address is of 6 byte. So how many byte we have in port address? Port address is of 2 byte. Next is, which type of security attack occurs when a malicious actor inserts himself as a relay or proxy into a communication session between people or systems? So the answer is man in the middle attack. What is denial of service attack? In which a service is interrupted for short time or for long time by attacker. Next is, the parameter which gives the probability of the transport layer itself spontaneously terminating a connection due to internal problem. This property is known as resilience. So B is the right answer. Next is, which of the following situation occurs when one or more threads in your program are blocked from gaining access to a resource and as a result cannot make progress? This is known as starvation. What is aging? Aging is to increase the priority so that the process will end in finite time. Next is, segmentation is done at dash layer and fragmentation is done at dash layer. So what is segmentation and what is fragmentation? Let's know first the answer. Segmentation is done at transport layer and fragmentation is done at network layer. So answer is D, transport and network layer. So let's understand what is this terms. So what is segmentation? Segmentation is kind of subnetting in which a network is divided into multiple subnets, small subnets having it their own IP address. So these all are acting as a small networks. And what is fragmentation? Fragmentation is whenever we want to transmit the data whose size is greater than the data which we can transmit in a network or frame size. So at that time the data is broken into small part, that is known as fragmentation. It is basically used for non-interruption of flow, like the flow of the data should not be interrupted. Then we use fragmentation. I hope it is clear. Next is, which of the following statement is correct about having clause? So what is having clause? Whenever we write a select query, having select something from table, group by something, and after that we use having. So having is like a where clause only. Whenever we don't use whenever we use group by, there we use having, and having will have condition as we use in where clause. So let's read the option. Having clause is used for rows rather than columns. No, it is not correct. Having clause is used to remove duplicates. No, not at all. Having clause acts exactly like a where clause. Yeah, this is correct. So option C is the correct answer. Next is how to convert weak entity set to a strong entity set. What is weak entity set? The entity which don't have any prime attributes or any primary key. So how we can convert it to the strong entity? Simply we have to add attributes or we have to add primary keys. So the answer will be adding appropriate attributes. Next is which of the following is not a storage class supported by C++? So register is supported, external is supported, auto mute supported. Yeah, dynamic is not supported. So answer is D. Next is which of the following allows to create complex entities from existing entities and relationship? So creating complex entities from existing entities is known as aggregation. Whenever we combine entities to form another entities is known as aggregation. Next is which of the following is a trap set to detect, deflect, or in some manner counteract attempts at unauthorized use of information system. So whenever we create a tab for this is known as honeypot. Next is what is Kerberos network? Okay, we have discussed Kerberos in yesterday's video. If you have not watched, go and watch that video. We know that Kerberos is authentication protocol. Next is deadlock are possibly deadlocks are possible only when one of the transaction wants to obtain an dash lock on a data system. So whenever one transaction wants to have an exclusive lock, at that time only deadlock will be occur. Next, how can you change Singh into Gupta in the last name column in person table? Okay, so we use update query here. So the name of the table is a person table. So update, what is the syntax? Update table name set column name, whatever you want to set is equal to that, where whatever the condition is there. So update, we have two query, update person set last name is equal to Gupta, where last name is equal to Singh. Yeah, option D is correct. Here into is not correct, we don't use into. Next is which of the following are two modes of IP security? So IP security is network layer security protocol. So the two mode is tunnel and transport. Option C, transport and tunnel mode. So what is this transport and tunnel mode? What is the difference between those? So the very basic difference is in transport mode, the IP security authentication is used at host to host. We have one host and a second host. So in transport mode, host to host security protocol is established, and in tunnel mode we have a gateway. Gateway used to provide this authentication or this security, and there is a network and all the hosts will be connected to this gateway for IP security protocol. This is the major difference. Next question is, given the relation is given as employee, attribute is name, salary, department number, and department attributes are department number, department name, address. Which of the following queries cannot be expressed using the basic relational algebra operation? So the operations are given: union, set difference, Cartesian product, and select, rename, and project. Okay, so these are some high level of question. The level of the question are high, starting from question 16 to question number 20. So if you are able to attempt this question, then no one can stop you from getting selection. So let's see what will the answer here. So department address of every employee, we can select this using select predicate. Employees whose name is same as department name, that also we can do. The sum of all employees salary, that we cannot do. We cannot do aggregate with this basic function. All implies are going to be that we can do. So the correct answer will be option C. Sum of all implies salary we cannot express using relational algebra. Question number 18. Yeah, so this type of question which I consider is a bit tough question where the statements are given and you have to identify what are the correct statements. And if there is one correct, that will be easy, but whenever we are giving it take a pair of like PR, QR, PS, PQR, that at that time it becomes a bit tough. So let's understand which of the following is true. First, it is telling an SQL query can contain a having clause even if it does not have a group by clause. No, this is not correct. Whenever we will have group by, at that time only we use having. Second is, an SQL query can contain a having clause only if it has a group by clause. This is absolutely true. Third is, all attributes used in group by clause must appear in the select clause. Very, very true. Whatever we are selecting, group by means we are grouping. We are grouping based on some column name or some attribute. So we need to select that column. Then only we can group by. And last is, not all attributes used in group by clause need to appear in select clause. No, this is not correct. So the answer will be Q and R. Which is the correct option? Option B, Q and R. Okay. Question number 19 is telling, what is the maximum number of super keys? For the relation schema, relation is given, attributes are x, y, z, w with x as the key. Okay, so if x is the key and we need to find the super keys. So whatever we will join with x, everything will become a key. So first is x, then xy, then xz, then xw, then xyz, then xyw, then xzw, then xyzw. So total will be 8. I have given it for you. So this 8 will be the super key. X, xy, xz, xw, xyz, xyw, xzw and xyzw. So the correct answer is C. Question number 20. In a schema with attributes A, B, C, D and E, following set of functional dependency is given. A is deriving B, A is deriving C, D is deriving E, B is deriving D and E is deriving A. So which of the following functional dependency is not implied by the above set? Here we need to check all the 4 options. So first is CD is deriving AC. So let's see, CD is deriving AC. Here we can see CD is deriving E and E is deriving A. So simply, and C can derive C itself. So we can say this is correct. CD is deriving AC. Next is BD is deriving CD. So do we have somewhere where BD or CD is present? No. BD is not deriving anything and CD is not getting driven by anything. So this looks like correct answer, but we'll check others also. This is not getting observed, not getting implied. Next is BC is deriving CD. BC, yeah. So here we can see B is deriving D and C is getting derived by A. No, we have to check this correctly. BC. B is getting driven with, and here CD. C is getting driven by A and A is getting driven by B. So B is correct in left hand side. And what about D? D is getting driven by B and B is getting driven by A and A is getting driven by C. C will also come. Yeah, C is also correct. And last D is AC deriving by BC. So let's see. A derives C and A derives B also. So A can derive B and A can derive C. So C can also derive C. So this is also correct. So the correct answer will be option B. If it is not clear, then you can watch this in my one video where I have discussed how we can see the functional dependencies. Or let me know in comment section. In tomorrow's video, we will discuss more about this type of question and how we should derive this. Okay, question number 21. Yeah, someone has asked me to explain what is Trojan horse, trapdoor, backdoor. That's why I have come up with this question. So programs which looks innocent and legitimate program but may infect the system badly or opens a backdoor for attackers to access the system is known as. Answer is Trojan horse. What is Trojan horse? This concept we can see in Troy movie where a wooden horse was used to deploy soldiers. So in Trojan horse, what it is does, it looks like it is no, it's don't, it will not harm my system. It is a legitimate program, but it is not. It can infect the system. So it can infect the system. It can transmit the data, or it can open a door for attacker to enter the system. So that door is known as backdoor. Now backdoor and trapdoor do both are used as an can be used as an interchangeable word. Somewhere both are used as the same, somewhere it is different. So trapdoor basically in broader term if we'll understand, it is used by programmers. So programmers do it intentionally to do some testing. And backdoor is whenever some some virus comes in our system and it makes a door for attackers. That is known as backdoor. So these are very closely related terms. Next is which operator is used to invert all the digits in the binary representation of number. So tilde we used. This does, it is change 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. Next is in an IPv4 addressing format, the number of networks allowed under class C addressing is. So class C addressing, it is asking for number of networks. So we know in class C, in 32 we talked it. All these three are reserved for network and this is for host. So in 24 we have initial three position is reserved as 1 1 0. So now remaining is 21. So the number of network is 2 to the power 21. So the answer is answer C. I hope it is clear. Next is testing of software with actual data and in actual environment. This is known as beta testing. And last question for the day is Backus NOR form BNF is a meta language form specifying the syntax of language, specifying a context free language. Answer is both AB. Context free syntax is defined with Backus normal form. So this question is for you.